Good evening, everybody. Look at my new apron. Let me stand back where you can see it. Isn't it cute? It was sent to me last week, and I'm just now getting to wear it. But listen, why I'm on here today is tomorrow, being Sunday, we're going to have our homecoming at Bethany Baptist Church, and I always make dumplings for that. And if I don't make it, people get aggravated because I didn't make dumplings. So I just make them every time. So what I did is we're going to make chicken and dumplings. So I went to the store and I bought 4 huge packages of chicken thighs. And I bought 4 of them. So I'd have enough to feed everybody that wants dumpling. And so what I'm going to do tonight is I am going to make the dumplings dough, make the dumpling dough. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow morning I'll roll it out. And I also will boil this chicken in the morning. As soon as I get up in my pajamas, I'm going to put this chicken on and let it be boiling. Now, some of you are asking, well, why didn't you get chicken breast? Well, I'll tell you why. Chicken breasts are drier. They don't make as rich of a broth as your legs and your thighs or your dark meat. Your dark meat makes better broth. Now, if I was making chicken salad, I'd want my breast for the chicken salad. But when I'm making dumplings, I like to buy the dark meat. Now, this was, see how much it was. It was 99 cents a pound. So I paid $2.70 for this package. And then different little packages. This one was $2.74, and I think one of them was $2.90. I don't know what it was. No, this one was $3.44. It must be some big size in it. And this one was $3.78. So I bought 4 of them. And I'm going to get my big canning pot. And in the morning, I'm going to boil these, and I'm going to put water in it and salt and pepper. And you can use white pepper, and it makes it look pretty. But anyway, I'm going to boil that, then I'll probably add some butter. And then I'm going to take all the meat out, roll my dumplings out really, really super thin, and drop them in. And cook them at the last minute so they'll be good and hot. Do y'all remember homecomings at your place? Let's go ahead and start our dumplings. I want you to get to see me make these, because I'm going to be sitting in here doing this. And you might can just stay with me, and we'll talk about the homecomings of yesteryear. I know y'all probably had them too. But anyway, today I've got a different bowl. See, it's different. That's because this is my plain flour, my all-purpose flour. And I've already sifted it. And I was going to show you what I'm using. See where it says all-purpose? Your all-purpose flour. And the reason you use all-purpose flour in this is because you don't want your dumplings to swell up. You want them flat. And everything. I may roll out a few just to show you how to do it. But anyway, let me get a rolling pin. Drop my stuff. But anyway, what you do is, to make dumplings, you make you a bird nest, just like I do any old time. Put your little grease in it, and I'll have to make more than what you're seeing right now. I'm just going to make one making right now. I'm going to probably make at least 3 makings. And I've already been shaking my buttermilk up. I'm going to put it in just like you were doing biscuits, just like I taught you how to do biscuits. Fill up your bird nest with maybe a couple of cups of buttermilk. This is cold in here. But buttermilk's cold. There's a little thing I missed when I sifted it. A little piece of hard flour. Anyway, so you do this, and you pull in a little at a time. Anyway, we always like homecoming. You know, it's really nice. You can, everybody's going to bring food enough for their family and my family. And I'm going to bring, I went over to Hannah's a while ago, and she's making a big thing of bean casserole and squash Alabama. She's doing that, and I'm going to do this, and we'll have a big time tomorrow. we'll all worship together, and then we'll go over to the fellowship hall and we'll eat. Now, I'm going to try tomorrow to let you see me drop this in the broth. But I don't know if I'll have time or not. So I'm gonna try. Whatever. But anyway, when I was a little girl, we used to have, we called it dinner on the ground at church. And we would have that, and it'd be so much fun. They would put some wire up between some trees, and it would be like they'd fix it like a table. It'd be hog wire, and that would be our table. And all the ladies would come in and bring their goodies and put them up there, and we'd have a nice blessing, and the children would play, and we'd have paper plates and tea and all kinds of fried chicken and deviled eggs and cakes and pies and fresh vegetables and sliced tomatoes. And I don't know what we'll have tomorrow. And if I get a chance, I'm going to, I'll show you that. I'll show you what's on the buffet tomorrow. I may not show this till tomorrow night because I'll be so busy. But anyway, I want you to see me do the dumplings. See how it's getting hard to do? It's getting stiff. That's what you want. You want it to be stiff. Because if you ever roll out a dumpling and it sticks to the side of to your surface, that means you don't have enough flour in it. So I'm going to take this like that. Oh, y'all, it's so hot and muggy today. A while ago when I went to the grocery store, it rained just a little bit, not much, but it did rain a little bit. Just enough to make it nice and muggy. All right, then you put your dough out like that. I'm going to work it a long time because you can tell how soft and sweet it is right now. This would be like you were making biscuits like this, but this isn't plain flour. I mean, this is plain flour, so it would make as y'all call them, hockey puck biscuits. All right, so what we're going to do right here, I'm going to divide this up because see how much it is. You wouldn't need this much for your family. 1 cup of buttermilk and some flour and a little grease will be plenty for your family. I'm making for a crowd. This rolls out for a crowd. I'm going to make more than this. This is just my first little making right here. I think what I'll do is do it in half or thirds and let y'all see me work this part. Now, if you could make these dumplings, which I know that you can, y'all have mastered so much stuff, but I know that if you could make these dumplings, then you could make chicken pot pie, ham pot pie, blackberry cobbler, peach cobbler, fried dumplings, fried pies. You see that? So it's important for you to get in your kitchen and work with some dough for a while. I mean, you know, sometimes when it's raining outside and you ain't got anything to do, get in there in your kitchen and make some dough and then figure out what you're gonna do with it. If you don't know right then, put it in the refrigerator. Just make sure you cover it good. All right, so when you get your dough stiff, and it's getting there, I can tell. See how I'm folding it over and hitting it and putting a little bit more flour from time to time. All right, let's try to let's flour our rolling pin. Let's try to roll it out just a little and see if it sticks. Now you see how much I've got right there, okay? A double handful, you might say. And let me show you how many dumplings that'll make. That's why I told you didn't need all of this for your little family. You don't need that much. And even, let's say you made too much. Well, you don't have to make it all in dumplings. You could just save some of it and do something else with that. Make a hot pocket or something like that. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up to see if it's sticking to this, okay? And it's not. Look. See there? It's not sticking, so that means that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Okay? And you want to roll this out just as thin as you can. The last time I did dumplings with y'all, somebody said, those are just egg noodles. They're noodles, that's what they are. No, they are not noodles. Noodles have eggs in them. Dumplings do not have eggs in them, and they don't even taste the same. They're completely different in texture and in taste. So, these are not noodles. Now, I'm going to show you how thin I'm going to try to get it. Because they're going to swell up some, even if you've got plain flour. They're going to swell up, okay? All right. Let me get me a knife and cut it or something so y'all can see. I'll cut it with a spatula. That's what I'll cut it with. All right. I'm just going to, this is how you would cut it if you were doing them for your family, okay? And children love these things, y'all. Well, everybody loves them, I guess. All right, so here it is. I want you to kind of see how thin it is. And what you do is when you get this cut up like this, of course, I'm not going to do it right now because I'm doing this for tomorrow. When you drop it in your broth, after you've gotten your chicken out of the broth, and all you got in there is broth, make sure you got enough broth. If you have to add some water because it cooked down, well, add it. And add you a little butter and salt and pepper and taste your broth and see how it tastes. If it tastes good, then start dropping your dumplings in. And this is how you do it. You bring your boiler of broth to a rolling boil and then drop them in. Just drop them in one at a time as quick as you can. And they will take about maybe 8 or 10 minutes to cook. Stir them occasionally, but not too much because they might tear up. So you don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off for a while. And then in the morning, if I have a chance, I'm going to let you see me boil all those chicken thighs. And I'm not putting all that meat back in the dumplings. I found that at church, they don't want the meat in it. They just want the dumplings. They don't want the meat. So I guess I'll do some barbecue chicken or something with the meat. I don't know what yet I'm going to do. Maybe some kind of chicken casserole. That'd be good. But anyway, I want to talk to you about our little homecoming at church, and everybody that used to go there or that lives out of town, they try to come back. And my little church in Carrollton, Alabama, they have their homecoming every year that I don't get to go to. But down at the Spring Hill community in the Crossroads, they have a homecoming down there. And my grandparents are buried at, one set's buried at Spring Hill and the other set's buried at Crossroads. So a lot of those graves down there belong to my relatives that influenced me greatly. I love y'all, and Jesus loves you. And be uplifted today. Y'all be a uplifted, spirited person. Don't be down in the dumps. Just put it in Jesus' hands, because half the stuff we can't change it anyway. So we might as well just accept it and say, Lord, take care of it. You know, there's some kind of modern song that says, Jesus, take the wheel or something. And that's what he's got to do. He just got to be the pilot and not the co-pilot. He is the pilot. Okay? Love y'all. Have a great night. And if I can, I'm going to get back on here in the morning and show you the rest of it. If I can't, I'll just post this part. Love you. Bye-bye. Okay, I finished making all the dough. I made another big thing of it. I just wanted you to see how much it is. So there's our dumpling dough. I'm going to put it in a bowl. I'm going to cover it up. Hey, it's bigger than my head, isn't it? And we're going to cover it up and put it in the refrigerator. And tomorrow, it'll take me a while, but I'm going to have to roll all this out. Talk to you later. Okay, y'all, it's Sunday morning, and I've got my big pot out. I couldn't find my canning pot, so I got this big one right here. It's a big stock pot. But anyway, I've got my chicken thighs in there, and they've been boiling for quite a while. And I want you to look at this broth. You see what I'm saying? If you... Ooh, it's fogging my camera up. If you don't have some good meat in there, your broth isn't going to be good. And I put the fat, the bone, and everything in there and letting it boil. And it's just about ready to take up. And I'm going to take it up in this big old pan right here and let it cool. And then I'll be ready to make my dumplings. Maybe by then I'll have on a little, some clothes that I can talk to y'all in person. I'll see you in a minute. Hey, it's ready to take up. Got me a big old scoop right here, and I'm going to get it all up. See how it's just falling off the bone? You want to make sure that you cook it long enough and let it drain good. And you see how tender it is? It's just coming right off the bone. Look at that. See that? It's just falling right off the bone. Now, you want to at least cook it that long. That way you know that you've gotten all the goodie out of it, so that your broth will be good. You can freeze this meat or whatever you want to. We're gonna make something out of it. Maybe I'll do that on Monday. Then it drains around good now, so make sure you get it all. I think that's it. All right, I'm gonna turn it off till I get ready to make my dumplings because I don't want it to. All right, so it's about half this pot the stuff's coming to right there. So the broth is to right there. The only broth, when I say broth, the only broth in it is real chicken broth. Homemade chicken broth, not bought chicken broth. Okay? Good morning. I finally got my clothes on. Listen, I did taste my broth, and it needs a little salt and a little pepper. So I'm going to put me some of that in there. I just tasted it. And it needs a little pepper. I can get this open. I can't wait to see everybody's food today. I bet I get me some new dishes today. Sometimes I taste something that's really super good, and when I do, I stand around and see who made it. That way I could ask them for the recipe. That's the best way to get recipes. Anyway, I've taken all my chicken up. Here it is. I hadn't deboned it yet, but I'm going to debone that, and I'm fixing to start making the dumplings. Y'all gonna make them with me. All right, I've got my dough out that I put in the refrigerator last night. I have floured my surface down here real good, and I'm gonna work it just a few minutes before I start cutting these out. And what I'm gonna do is divide this into several smaller little balls, and when I do that, then I'll have room to roll it out on my chopping block. I've seen a lot of you who have found you a nice chopping block, and I'm so excited for you. You're gonna love that thing. One lady wrote in and said that her husband found it for her, I think it was her birthday. So that's a good thing. And actually, y'all, this is good exercise when you do this. Now remember, this is made with your plain flour, which is your what? All-purpose white lily. All-purpose. This will feed a crowd. If you had a big group coming into your house and you need to fill them up, this is the way to do it. Okay, now, you see this big old roll of dough. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it off into pieces about like that, I guess, and roll that out, throw it in my boiling water, not boiling water, but boiling broth, and that way it'll fit on this rolling pin, this chopping block, because remember, we want to roll it really, really super thin. Roll it out real thin. And I don't know that I'm going to use all this. I'm going to judge as I put it in, because this will make a tremendous amount. A tremendous amount. All right, so we got all these little balls now. And if we don't need them all, that's all right. It won't be gone to waste, that's for sure. We're not going to waste anything. Food's too high nowadays. We don't need to waste not one little ounce of anything. If you've got little celery tops left that you fix to throw away, wash them, put them in some water and with some other little scrappy stuff and make you some broth to use later for the soup. Don't be throwing those things away. All right, we're ready to roll. Let me get my rolling pin. I'll be back. All right, what I did is I turned my broth on. You know, I turned it off a while ago when I was getting my chicken out. And while that's getting to a rolling boil, I'm gonna roll this out real flat. We wanna make sure it's not sticking. And it's sticking just a little bit. See that? Do you see that, y'all? Can you see how it was sticking? So I'm gonna add a little bit more flour to this one little clump right here. Because we cannot have that happening. What I may do is roll a bunch of these out and just sit them to the side. Not as thin as they're gonna be, but just kind of like that while that's getting hot. And that way I won't have to roll quite so much next time. They'll already be done some. I'm gonna go ahead and add some flour to this one since that one was low. This is good for your arms and your shoulders and your chest because it's good exercise. Okay, see, that way I can get a jump start on this stuff. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, my water broth, my chicken broth is boiling over there big time. And that's what you want. You want it boiling. In this part, you need to work fast because you don't want it all to boil away. Now, if you have to add a little water or a little extra butter or whatever, you go ahead and add it. That's why I rolled some of mine out a little bit ahead of time. Get it real flat, real thin. And then you're ready to drop them in. All right, I'm ready to drop this little bunch in. So let me get my cutter. See, I should have already had that out. Here it is, right here. You cut these out. Don't worry about being perfect, y'all. You're not perfect, so why should your dumplings be perfect? None of us are perfect. That's why the Lord loves us so. That's why He came, is to make us perfect in His eyes. All right, see how thin? All right, just drop these in that boiling stuff right in the middle. And see, this is why you don't want it sticking, because you hadn't got time to stand over here and pull it up from this chopping block. It needs to come up, and those two did not, so I'm not using them. I'll put those in the next batch. What is happening here? See that? All right, there we go. If they're sticking, don't use them. Put those in the next little bunch. We get 4 at a time. See there? You can put all those in at one time. Sometimes I drop some on the floor. I usually have to sweep, mop, and everything else after I get through making dumplings because I have flour from one end of this kitchen to the other. I was raised on white lily flour. All right, so see, after I get these in, I'm going to quickly roll out another little roll, and I'm going to let them cook. Well, these will cook till I get all the rest of them in, but church starts at 10:45, so I'm going to try to have them ready by then. And then they'll just sit. I'm going to wrap them up, the whole pot, in a bath towel or something to keep that whole pot warm until we eat after the service. That'll be a good thing. All right, so I fixed to roll out the rest of them, and I will put this on today or tomorrow so y'all can see it. Love you. I'll see you in a little while. Okay, the dumplings are ready, and I wanted to show y'all my ladle I'm going to get it out with. You people from Iowa, listen. This ladle that I've had for a long, long time, and it says on here that it's from the Farmers Grain Company, Co-op Company, from Vinton, Vinton, Iowa. Isn't it pretty? Anyway, I fixed to get my dumplings out with it, and they cooked, and y'all, they'll stick now if you're not careful. So make sure that you check that often. I cooked them on pretty high till I got everything in there. Then I turned it down a little bit. So I'm gonna reach in there and get me some dumplings. See, you want plenty of juice in it, okay? The juice is the good part to me. All right, and I'm gonna put me a few pieces of chicken on top of mine because I like the chicken on it. But if you decide to put your chicken in there, let me get something out right here to show you something. All right, if you decide to put your chicken in there, don't put it in there with the dumplings. Wait till the dumplings get done. Put your chicken in there and gently stir it around because you don't want it to come all to pieces, okay? Do you see the juice that's in there? This is what you want. If it's too dry, it won't be good. The juice is part of the best part of it. So I've got plenty of juice in mine. I don't know if you can see down in there or not. See there? A big old pot of dumplings. Chicken and dumplings, Southern all the way. All right, I'm gonna taste these to make sure they're good. This is gonna be my breakfast before I even get to church. Love y'all, bye-bye. Y'all always say you wanna make me see that I eat them. They are so good and juicy. You see how thin they are? They are absolutely divine. Couldn't ask for a better homecoming meal than this. Of course, those got kitchen committee. Oh, they'll have plenty, and then everybody's going to be bringing in a bunch of stuff. We are going to have a feast today.